I just kind of left. I said, see you later, turn around, left.
As a matter of fact, at that same hearing that we just looked at, your statement was, I made a beeline out of there, correct?
I don't know if that's the verbiage I used, but I left.
Why the rush? Why did you leave so quick?
Because it was a long day and I just wanted to go home.
Except you didn't go home, did you?
No, I went back to Canton PD.
Right. So it wasn't such a long day that you actually drove home. You went back to the Canton Police Department at 1 or 1:30 in the morning, correct?
To move vehicles, correct.
Just in case you might have forgotten, by the way, according to, once again, his own testimony, he had 4 whiskey drinks before going to the party and a couple of whiskey drinks at the party. He is now leaving the party and driving in order to go to the police station and move cars. That's just extra super special. Fantastic.
Well, let's talk about you leaving. You walked out the side breezeway door, correct?
Yes.
You walked down the driveway.
Yes.
There's nothing obstructing your view at that point of the lawn to your right, correct?
I didn't look over there, but I would not think so.
Between you and the flagpole, in other words, there wasn't some mound of dirt, something obstructing your view. You could see straight across if you wanted to, correct?
If I wanted to, yes.
It's just basically a flat, grassy lawn with a light dusting of white powder snow on it, right?
I don't know how much snow was, but there was snow there.
Yeah, you indicated that it wasn't even enough to stick to the pavement at that point.
Well, that's when I got there, yes.
Well, you only stayed less than an hour, right?
That's correct.
So I'm assuming it didn't dump 3 feet in an hour, correct?
I think we can both agree that it's not it wouldn't have been 3 feet now.
Right, so it would have been a light dusting of snow.
More snow than there was there.
How far would you say it was from the edge of the driveway over to your Jeep?
From where the back of my Jeep was parked?
Correct.
Maybe a foot or two, or it could have been even with the edge of the driveway.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's probably a bad question on my part. When you left the house, as you started to walk down the driveway toward your Jeep, how long of a walk is that? Across the yard to down the driveway to get to your Jeep?
Short.
30 feet?
You gotta love that. Like, he's asked, how close were you to the curb? And he's like, foot or two, maybe even right up against it. Those are fairly precise answers. And then he's asked the other question, well, how long is it from the door to your car? And he's like, short. I think maybe he's trying to evade the question because I notice a little bit of difference of how he treats those two questions. I think he's more uncomfortable with one of those questions than the other. Which of these things is not like the other? Which of these things doesn't belong?
During the course of you walking out the door, heading to your Jeep, you didn't see anything out of the ordinary in the yard, correct?
No,
You certainly didn't see a body in the yard.
of course not.
Now, you get in your car, and it's facing directly toward the flagpole, correct?
It's facing directly up the street. The flagpole would be off to the 1 o'clock.
Right. So just a few degrees off to the right, the flagpole is, correct?
It's off to the right.
Just a few degrees.
I don't know how many degrees, but it's off to the right.
Well, you just...
30 degrees. That would be the 1 o'clock position. You're welcome.
So you didn't see a body when you got in your Jeep.
No, I did not.
Then you turned the engine on, correct?
And the wipers, yes.
And the lights.
Yes.
And the lights lit up everything in front of you, correct?
Yes.
Still didn't see a body, did you?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
Sitting in the driver's seat, you put the car in gear and you begin to roll forward, right?
Yes.
But there was a plow on the ground. It scraped for a foot, right?
Yes.
So you picked it back up,
Yes.
looked out the windshield to make sure the plow was situated, and continued to roll forward, correct?
I knew it was up and I continued to drive.
And as you continue to drive, you're looking ahead of you and probably to your left to make sure that there's no oncoming cars, right?
Well, I knew there was no oncoming cars. I was just driving forward.
Right. So your focus is directly in front of you.
On the road, yes.
And everything in your peripheral vision is right in front of you as well, correct?
Yes.
Nothing obstructing your view.
I mean, other than snow on the car.
Nothing obstructing your view outside toward the lawn. Wasn't another car parked there.
No, I didn't, there was no vehicles in front of me, no.
It was, the roadway was relatively empty,
There was no cars.
and you didn't see a body then either, did you?
I did not.
Yeah.
And as you drive past that flagpole with everything lit up and everything in your peripheral vision, you still didn't see a body on that lawn, did you?
I did not.
Yeah, the problem here obviously is the timeline. That's why this is really problematic, because he's leaving the party at a particular time while completely drunk out of his mind, apparently. But he can't notice anything. He doesn't notice a body walking to his car, and he doesn't notice a body as he's driving away with his headlights and the flagpole lit up and everything else. So he doesn't see anything, even though there should be a body there according to the government's timeline. So that's a problem. He doesn't see anything because of the timeline. So, yeah, I mean, now, of course, it could be because he's completely drunk out of his mind. But then again, of course, the government does have the burden of proof. So I'm not going to give them any favors. He doesn't observe it. I'm not going to assume it must be because he's drunk, because that would be giving them a break. I'm not going to assume something in their favor. All the assumptions have to be read against them. So yeah, that doesn't really work for your case, that you couldn't see the body. That's a problem for your timeline. Lol.
You're a former firefighter, is that right?
Yes.
That puts you in a position of being a first responder.
Yes.
And you're currently a law enforcement officer.
Yes.
That puts you in the position of being a first responder, correct?
I'm also a tactical medic, yes.
Well, you got the trifecta. You've been a firefighter, you're a police officer, and you're also a medic. You're every first responder. You're all the first responders. You're so well trained, in addition to being the pride of the ATF. So, wow, man, if anyone, right?
Which means that you have training to be an observer. You're a trained observer, more than the average person, correct?
Yes.
You look for things out of the ordinary. You look for things that don't belong. As an investigator, former firefighter, first responder, correct?
Yes.
And you did not see a 217-pound man bleeding out on the side of the road, in the lawn, or in the yard, just to your right by that flagpole, correct?
If I did,
I didn't ask
I would have
you if
done
you
something
did.
to help him.
I asked you if you saw one.
No, I did not.
Yeah, not great.
And that's because there was no body there, correct?
I didn't see anything.
Because if there was a body there, you certainly would have seen that.
Objection.
Yeah, again, the problem is just nothing makes sense. No witness can observe anything. No witness knows anything. Everything they do observe is contradicted by other statements or other testimony. Inconsistencies all around. The timeline is fractured. This guy who, has all kinds of experience and is trained to observe things, doesn't know anything, see anything. He doesn't relay who was at the party accurately. Inconsistent testimony against the Celebrite data. Inconsistent testimony relative to previous grand jury testimony. Inconsistent testimony relative to other statements given to other law enforcement. There are many, many problems in both this guy's testimony and the government's case as a collective whole.